Welcome back to the Stoic Dev. Let's see, what did we do last time? We're going to log one line. We added a generic error handler for the item routes, okay? And remember, we moved all this, our to-do stuff, to our README, which I've cleaned up a little bit here. Now let's go ahead and look at that. Put our to-do items right up here so we can just kind of pick off the top and pretend this is our backlog. So today I want to return JSON for our general 404 response. And after we get that done, we'll make a new route to return a single item by ID. And the reason that we want to do this, let's go ahead and start up Mongo. And let's start up our server as well. So when we go in and do, localhost 3000, whatever, we get HTML. And that works great in a browser. But if we do here, say we mess up, and remember, this is not a website. What we're working on right now is our API, and we're expecting things to talk to it through Ajax primarily. Well, not Ajax, but talk to it through requests that send and receive, or send and expect to receive JSON. So if I send to some BS here, we're getting HTML back. But what did when we sent, I guess we didn't actually send anything. What we should be doing is setting the content type to application JSON. So when we send something, yeah, it didn't find it, but it shouldn't send the response in HTML. It should send it back in JSON because, oh, I guess we need to set the accept. Yay. Accept encode, is it encoding? Application JSON. Let's see if that works. I think that's the right thing to send. So anyway, we're telling it like, hey, we're making this request, and it should look at the accept headers to see what type of response to send. Let me just double check this real quick because I might be wrong. HTTP accept JSON. So this is, want to make a request and get a XML, but I want JSON, blah, blah, blah. You guessed right. HTTP headers. Yeah, so it's here, accept application JSON. So when you're telling it, hey, I'm making this response, I'm sending this header to say, when you send me a response, this is the kind of format that I expect or that I can handle. So don't send me HTML because I don't know what that is. So let's start here by looking at our routes. Now, see the routes that we have here, we have a route for get items, post items, delete, put items, right? So the way that Express works, this is not everything. Here we're sending ITE, right? So this isn't going to actually hit any of these routes. So we're kind of in the wrong place here. So what we need to do is go into the app, and here, where is it? Our routes index. What a hideous name. But if we look here, routes index, right? This is where all of our items are. We need to clean this stuff up, by the way. That's not a good name. And we can see down here it's saying, hey, everything coming in with the top level here, use these routes. The way Express does, it adds a bunch of like middleware for everything here, so we can log stuff, parse JSON, da da da. And here's it's saying, hey, for requests, I also want you to use this set of routes. So it goes into our routes. If it sees one that it recognizes, one of these here, it'll go ahead and use it and finish the request. Otherwise, nothing happens. And so it goes into here, and it says, hey, it's my not found route, right? What is this? Oh, this is the generic error handler. So anyway, this is our 404 route where it's just sending back this not found, right? So let's see. We can look at the status. If we look at the headers, right? No, not the headers. Where are we looking? I'm trying to confirm that this is actually what we're looking at. Error, not found, right? So let's change this just to verify. Change inner WTF mate. See, it restarts. Let's send it again. See, so that's it. That's our generic error handler. Okay, so let's go through this in our TDD fashion, right? Let's turn off the server because our tests don't require the server to run. Our tests use whatever the hell that was called. My God, I can't remember. Let's find out. What does it use? It uses supertest. Okay. And let's see. I don't really know the best place to add this. Let's go ahead and add it right here, and we'll just call it app test.js. This is kind of weirdly structured. We'll figure it out later. So let's read in the, what is it, routes index test.js. I'm not actually going to use that, but we're going to read it in, and we are going to say this is, we are describing app, I don't know, describing the app, I guess. Let's go ahead and focus this only on the app. And close nerd tree. And say only do this. Okay, so why aren't you running? App. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now on the left we are running only the app test. And here it's failing, saying I can't find the app because, you know, we just copied and pasted it from somewhere else. I would probably think that this is a better place to test the app because that's kind of what we were doing anyway. Anyway, thinking out loud. So we want to, let's go ahead and delete a bunch of this stuff. And we want to describe the 404 routes. And it should return JSON. So let's clean this up a bit. We're gonna, I don't want to even send post, I'm gonna just do get. We're gonna get to WTF mate. We don't need to send it anything. This is important. We want to set the accept header to JSON. And we expect to get JSON in return. And we expect to get a, 404, right? And that's really it. This is a super simple one, right? So we're just sending it to some random endpoint here. We're setting, again, we're saying I accept JSON. So when you resolve, you better return a header that says, hey, this is JSON, and a header that says 404, and maybe, let's just leave it at that. Let's see. Run it. And we wanted JSON, but we got HTML. Okay, we're off to the races. So let's go look at our app. And so here is our handler, right? Now, just to make this green as soon as possible, wait, it forwards this to the error handler? Oh, I get it, okay. I just noticed here this wasn't resolving anything. This was just adding an error. So it's saying, hey, nothing happened here. Read the comments, right? So it's saying I'm adding this error, I'm setting the status, and then I'm calling next. So the next is going to be here. It's going to go ahead and, I guess, make it pretty, and then finally render the error page. And here, if we went into under error, where's this? The views error, and this is this crazy stuff that it's going to send out. So it's going to render error with this status, and then you would see the status come in here. We're not going to, I see what's going on now. Anyway, I don't want this. I don't know if we even need this. So what we're going to do is, if we get to this point, local message, blah, blah, blah. Let's just change it here to say res JSON status error. You know, honestly, we don't even need that. Let's be very basic. Just get it green as soon as possible, right? We did not get a content type. Uh-oh. Wonder why. Well, let's see what we actually got. Then, so it says the content type didn't match, and I believe that sending the response as JSON would set the content type unless there's something crazy going on. So I thought that would have set the content type for us, but it said it got text. So let's figure out why. So I'm going to cut in front of the expect here. Actually, let's just go ahead and disable those real quick. And let's look at this response. So console log response. Let's see what we got. Sure enough, we got, whoa. So we got some text, WTF mate. Here's the error. Yay. So we definitely got a response, and it definitely has a bunch of crazy crap. Where are the headers? Headers, powered by Express, content type text. So we are still getting text. Why is that? We know that it's getting to the error. We know that's going to next. We see that it's going here. It's saying status. Why is this? I wonder if it's because, wait, so we still get all of this text here, right? I don't know why this is happening. Let's try it again. Okay, did I not save the friggin' thing? No, wait. No, it's just the assertion. Okay. So status 404. Good. I'm still confused why the text here. There must be, okay, so again, there's like this error, or is it some generic error handler somewhere? I don't know. So we have the 404 status that we're getting from here. That's sending it next. This is our error handler, which is saying, hey, blah, blah, set the status. You know what? Let's just short circuit all this stuff and say res JSON. I don't know why it's getting all this text. It sure is, though. What the heck? Why? Why did I get this? Okay, here, even more aggressive. Let's just say right here. We know when you get here, 404, I just want to return some JSON, and that's it. So let's see, if we just do it that way, are we getting the, yes, we're getting what we expect. Okay, so something magic was happening in there. So I also expect it to be a 404. We did not set the status, so that should fail. What if we do this, though? Okay. So here, done this way, we say we expect to get JSON response. Yep, you got it. Now, I also expect that we get a 404 header. It says, no, you got a 200. Okay. What if we set the status? Oh, this is error status. That's why it's good to slow down and read, right? Okay, so the res status equals 404. You bastard, I'll kill you. Res status. Okay, so I was trying to assign it, but this is a setter, so I have to set it like this. Here we go. Okay, so let's get rid of this. So if we do it like this, everything's happy. But we don't get into this error handler middleware. I feel like if this is the last sort of middleware that's here. So if we get to this state, we know it's an error. And I don't understand why we would want this separate from the error handler. And so for now, let's just trash it, because this is doing what we want it to do, right? And now that we're not, now that we're not calling next, we don't need it. So this is our catch-all. It means I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to say status error. Actually, here, I keep putting this in. Let's add a test for this, then response. We're going to check that the response kind of looks the way we want. Remember, we did this in our other routes or in our other tests. Right here, we would take the response and look at the body and say, hey, does it sort of look like this? So let's just go ahead and copy that. Okay, we're using response. Does response body match this? Status error. And if we're nice, maybe we could even put in a message here. But let's make this green first. Say status error. That's our unofficial convention, is to use status in all of our responses. Although the header would suggest that it was an error. Let's also say message not found. There we go. So this is largely redundant. It's really for developers' use, right? Because if you're looking at this programmatically, you're going to look probably at the headers to figure out that, oh, it was a 404, and you'll know what that means. But anyway, this is a way that we can make it easier for the humans that sometimes interact with this stuff, the developers. There's an imaginary team of developers implementing or exercising our API, right? So now let's go ahead and this looks good. Let's go ahead and start up our server and try it with, oh, look at that beautiful little girl. Let's go ahead and try it with this. So last time this didn't work out so well, but now if we do this, it says, hey buddy, here's some nice JSON. Got you an error. Couldn't find that thing. Oh yeah, well what if we post to here? Same deal. Oh yeah, well what about this? Nope. And what about items? Oh yeah, that I understand. So that seems a lot more usable to me. So I like it. Let's go ahead and, let's say get status, add all this stuff. Oh, let's go ahead and update our README because we have now accomplished that. So get status, get add, get diff, cache. Let's look at what we did. Cleaned up the README. I did that before you got here. We added a generic error handler. That's it. So get commit, add, or let's say return JSON for generic 404 handler. And we'll push that up. Now, how are we doing on time? I think we're doing all right. Let's see. We have gone 22 minutes. All right, what the hell? Let's go ahead and add another one real quick. That was supposed to be the quick one, but I get kind of chatty, I guess. And it is worth it to do these tests. I know it's slower, but it's worth it because you get better at tests as you go, and you will. They benefit you later. They really do. Oh, this is funny. We're always returning JSON. That's okay. That's what we expected, right? Anyway, so let's go here and let's keep going with the test route, right? Let's go into our routes and let's write another test. So if we, let's see, so I think we have something in here where we are creating an item, and then we're getting all of the items and looking through them to see if we can find the one that we created, right? So that's testing our creation. That's testing the get all, which is good, but we also want to test that we can get a specific item by ID. So let's just look real quick here. This is the only place we're testing get all. Let's see, how else can we do this? These are error message, whatever. So I don't want to remove the get all because we do need to test that. So maybe we can have another, kind of tack on to one of these tests, getting a specific item. So here, let's kind of look at what we got. We have this one that saves and deletes. If a delete is successful, we could, I guess we could go ahead and, to test that a delete was successful, try and get the item, the specific item. But if that doesn't work anyway, then it might be kind of a false positive. So that one, yeah. You know what? I think we just answered our own, well. So we could, okay, sorry, I'm thinking out, kind of thinking through this. This one, we create an item, then we update it, and then we don't ever do anything to check that it was updated. We just kind of look at the response and say, okay, looks good, which is okay-ish. But instead, if we wanted to make this a little bit better, we could go ahead and tack on to this one. So here's our post, right? We're saying, hey, let's make the item. Down here we're saying, now let's put the item. And then after that, we just kind of look at the response and say, okay, it must have been good. We could tack on a third request here to go and get that specific item. Now again, these tests are very coupled. It's all these different, it's really like an integration of all of the different systems. But what the hell, let's go with it for right now. So create an item is tested, updating, there's sort of a superficial test, and then we can say get this specific item and look at its results, and that will fill out the update test. Say yes, it was persisted and it now looks like this. And at the same time, it will exercise the get by ID. Okay, makes sense? I hope so. So let's go ahead and focus only on this. We're going to say, what is it, routes? Yeah. Focus only on this. Post an item. Update the item. After all of that, we will look at the response, make sure that looks okay. And instead of testing this guy, we are going to return, where's our get? We may as well just copy that bad boy. We're going to fill this out. Da, da, da. Sorry, I'm talking or humming to myself. I didn't even think I was a hummer. Okay, so we'll do this, get our response. That this is so long is a sign that it's poopy, but whatever. So we are going to get item by ID. I guess this would be response body item ID. It makes me, grosses me out just to see stuff like this, but you know, you can't stop and Boy Scout everything or nothing will get done. You just kind of pick up little bits as you go. So change surrounding quotes to those bad boys. And you know, this is redundant to keep setting this because we're always going to return JSON. So I'm just going to get rid of it. And I'm going to get rid of that too, because if we don't get JSON, it's not going to work at all when we try and parse it. So it's kind of an implicit test. Yes, I expect that we will get a 200. And the response I expect to be this guy. We expect that our response, this is where we were searching through all of the items to see one that matched, right? So I expect that we will get a success. I'm tired of testing. I'm going to keep testing the same stuff over and over. It just adds noise, right? So let's say that this is our response. So up here we post, make the new item. Here we put, update the item. Here we get a specific item, right? And here we're just verifying that that looks the way we thought it did. So const saved item. Did we redo saved item? I don't know. Hey, what am I doing? Saved item equals response body item. And I expect it to match I expect saved item to match cool new content. All right, I think we got it. Let's try it. So, well, it's promising that it fails. So let's see. This is 404 not found, right? This is kind of what we expect now that we have a generic error handler. It might be nice to add additional info like what the request was, but whatever. Let's just make this sucker pass. So we are going to add another route. So it's very similar to this one where we're getting all the items, except it is, you know what, I like the items with the ID. I think that's convention, so we're going to say items, and this underscore ID, UID, we're going to say find, how about this, we'll just be fun, response, JSON, ID, how about that? Boom. Just return some JSON. Okay, so this is right. We're hitting this. We expect it to match this, but it's not. What if we say content equals cool new content? Typically keep my test on the left and my code on the right. Anyway, so it's close, right? Let's say 2 equal. So we expected it to equal blah, but it's equaled this. And it says it's not the same. Oh, it's undefined. That's right, because we don't return it like this. We return status success, and we return item. That's actually what we're returning. See, these tests really help baby step through it, man, as long as you slow down. Look at this. Okay, so I expected to get something like this, but I got was this. Okay, you're right. What if we do ID equals request params ID? Holy shit. It's amazing. Now this works, but obviously we just are faking this out. So what we need to do is use Mongoose to look at the actual items. So Mongoose, why don't I have this saved yet? Mongoose docs API. There should be find by ID, find by ID, and here it is, find by the ID, here's the ID, and then it gives you the thing, right? I've learned in these past that I get in trouble by not reading this stuff, but let's just try it, whatever. So instead of this fake thing, oh, by the way, doing this fake version shows us that our test is set up correctly. Sometimes you'll kind of jump ahead and not actually see your test green and just kind of go and beat your head against a wall. Why isn't this test passing? Why isn't this working? Focusing on the implementation, only to realize that you screwed up the test and it was never going to pass. So this is why you jam it in there, make it green right away, and then you can go in and add the real stuff, right? So now we know our test works. If I just go to something else, it's going to give us all sorts of crazy stuff. But we have, oh, what happened? We have confidence. Confidence in my abilities to, what? Okay. We now have confidence that our test will eventually be green once we do the right stuff. So we are going to find by ID request params ID. And let's look here, find by ID. It will give us an error or the item. So we will then get our error or our item, blah, blah, blah. And instead of items, we will return the item. Oh, look at that linter coming in handy, right? Items is not defined. Item is what you want. Remember, this is our generic error handler. Unable to, I don't know, get item. Let's let's change this up real quick, just for fun. Getting distracted. Hey, look at that. Okay, so that's why we're okay. It worked, kind of, but I changed the test in order to get a better diff. So here it's saying, hey, I expected to get ID and content, but I got ID and content and this V crap. I don't really know what this is. I'm guessing it's versioning, right? I don't know how this changes. I'm just not interested in right now. So I could do, instead of equal, because that's checking all of these props, obviously, I could say, as we had before, to match object. And it'll do sort of, yes, this object has these things. Maybe not just these things, but it does have these things. So that might be a better test in this case, because I don't really know what that V thing is, and I don't want to mess with it yet. Now here's something fun. What we could do is, if we don't find the item, say we messed up here, and we sent this response instead. Whoa. Oh, we're sending a 200. We're sending a 200 for error responses. Oh my God, we are. Anyway. Okay, so this is kind of confusing, but whatever. So in this case, we messed up the ID right here. And it said, hey, I could not find anything, so I'm going to send you this error. Wouldn't it be cool if instead of this, and this is just for fun, we won't actually add the test yet because our tests kind of suck. What if we did console log response? What are we getting in here? Whoa, that's a lot. What if we look at the body? If we looked at the body, where is it? Ugh, is this one of those things we're not going to see it? Come on, just. I want to see if we can give it a nice. Maybe if we do it without watch, it seems to cause the log issues. If we do it without the watch, see, so it's saying success item null. Well, that's kind of a dirty lie. Oh, man. How is this even working? So we're saying, look it up by ID. Oh, that's not an error. This would be an actual database error, like, hey, there's a problem here. So if there was a problem looking this up, it would send this error that says, hey, unable to find this item because of a database error, or not a database error, well, a data error, something in between here and Mongoose, something Mongoose related, right? But there's another situation where we say, hey, let's find this item, and we get nothing, right? In which case, we're getting the body item is null. So we need to say if there's an error or if no item, then send this bad boy. They're not exactly the same, but from a user's perspective, same thing. So check it out. Wouldn't it be cool if we could send this unable to get item? What if we made this so much nicer? Change the surrounding quotes to backticks and add the ID. So this will tell us which one we're looking for. Of course, this doesn't exist yet. And our linter is going to say, dude, what ID? Say const ID equals request params Rams ID, right? And this will save us from change back towards there, from typing that stuff out and messing up. So check it out. We do this, and our response is going to give us a nice error. Unable to get the item undefined. Like, what? Oh my god. Well, hey, look at this. That is helping because I totally messed that up. I was trying to pull the ID from the ID. Try one more time. And it's going to give us a nice error that says, oh, this isn't going to give us an error. This actually works. Okay. Oh dear. It's working. Anyway. Let's go ahead and quit out of that. And just verify that, okay, our test seems to be working. Let's try it with watch and all. Did you mean all? I did. So 26 up. Delete that F because I want them all to run. Now, all of our tests are happy. Excellent. Oh, our database is open still. Now let's check here. We can get all these items. Cool beans. We can go ahead and copy this, rename it a little bit. Get one item. And it will be this one. Send. Save. Oh, hey, I messed up the URL, remember? I love this this nice error handler, though, because at least I'm not getting HTML that's hard to understand. It is items. Try that. We found it. Now, what if we mess up, though, and send this? It's going to say, whoa, dude, I couldn't find it. I was unable to get the item. Blah. Now, that's very easy. I'm like, oh, crap, we requested the wrong item. This gives us a lot of good feedback. So, there we go. Let's save it there. This is looking happy. Get out of there. Close Mongo. And go ahead. Oh, let's update our README. README. Return a single item by ID. Done. Okay, so quit that. Yarn lint, just to make sure everything's happy. Ooh, console statements. Well, I'll get rid of those later. So get status, get add, get. Let's just look at what we did real quick. Let's diff the cached version. So yeah, we added our new route, and we added a test for it. So git commit, return single item by ID. There we go. Push it up, and we're done. So because I have not branded myself, we'll just say thanks a lot. That's it, and I'll see you next time.